agree.
This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes.
Which would you like to have first? Strong words or strong themes?
Well, we'll start out with grilled cheese sandwiches and we'll work up to it.
Okay.
Cheese.
Okay. So I can't say fuck for a few more minutes. Oh, so I already broke the rule, but
Yeah, it's okay. One still gives you a PG-13 rating.
okay.
Except on YouTube. It'll get your stream censored if you do it in the first 17 minutes.
Okay, I think I've already screwed your stream then, Perps.
Yep.
Gee, I'm going to get demonetized.
Yeah.
Well, the way I usually like to do grilled cheese is I take 2 slices of sharp or white cheddar, and I use mayo instead of butter, since that crisps up the bread better. And then I add just a little bit of salt on top, which is about the only thing I ever add salt to.
The cheese isn't salty enough.
You know, it's just the one thing I always add a little bit of salt to for some reason.
Yeah.
That's okay. I always add salt to my ramen noodles.
Aren't ramen noodles like 80% salt?
No, I think it's more like 90.
Oh,
A ramen noodles has just under the daily minimum or maximum allowance of salt.
okay, so you have to push it over that.
Yes. Then I'm happy.
Oh, I get a daily dose of salt just by standing out at the beach, and looks like looking at it, it's 88%.
88.
Yep.
Well, living in Minnesota, you get a full day's dose of minerals in every glass of tap water.
Mm.
Let's see who have we got in the side chat here. I see Greg Hardwick.
Hi,
and
Greg.
Mr. Shadow Kitty and Skitch
Shadow.
Crasher.
Hi, Skits.
Hey, gang.
Hi,
Thanks for being
Greg.
patient with me and the
Oh, and Claire's there, and I'm there too.
Yay.
No, you're in here. You can't be in 2 places at once.
Oh, the internet is amazing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my favorite grilled cheese sandwiches. First of all, you got to have putty bread. You know that, like Wonder Bread or something that builds bodies 12 ways. You know that really soft, horrible shit. Well, you got to have that, and you butter, not margarine, but butter the fuck out of it. And take 2 slices of American nut cheese and put them on there and cook it till it's just about to burn.
Ah, yes, that's another thing I usually do. Is,
and even a little burn is okay.
Yeah, you gotta go almost burned at least.
And then you chow it down with V8 juice.
I could see V8 juice going well with grilled cheese.
Yeah, the best thing is that you need tomato soup to dip it in.
Yeah. Well, juice is okay too for me. I kind of like the warm and cold juxtaposition there. It's
also recommended to me to put a thin layer of the sauce on the actual bread so you get the cheese and the sauce right there in the sandwich.
Well, isn't V8 just tomato soup that's been used twice as much water and not warmed up?
No.
That's what it tastes like to me.
I have no opinion on
it tastes like V8. It does not taste anything like tomato soup or tomato anything. It's V8.
Doesn't taste like tomato? Then what is it?
It's considered to be a vegetable juice, not tomato juice, because it has the juice of things like watercress and beets and carrots and lettuce and just a bunch of stuff.
It still sounds like soup.
But it's not.
Well, I can't afford V8 anymore in 8-way. The best I could hope for is an inline 4.
Now I do use V8 in my formula for my spaghetti sauce, or my formula for chili, as an accent, not as a primary sauce.
I try to make a car joke, and even Jenny ignores it. So
I didn't know it was a car joke. Tell me again.
I said I couldn't afford a V8. The best I can hope for is an inline 4.
Oh, okay. But
I have no idea what that means.
No, I didn't think anybody but Jenny would. That's why it was a
V8 is an engine type that has two banks of cylinders, 4 on each side, at probably around a 60 to 70 degree opposition to each other. And its inline 4 is four pistons in line with each other.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have to explain a joke, it's not worth it.
Generally, the more pistons you have, the smoother an engine is.
So, well, welcome to my world, where I try to explain British-centric jokes to everyone on here, and I'm the only one that gets it.
Was that a British joke?
No, not yet. Give me time. We've only been going 5 minutes.
Isn't most of Britain a joke?
Well, it is now after Brexit, yes.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, to be honest, if it weren't for you guys, we would be the laughing stock of the world.
Well, you're welcome.
Well, J.K. Rowling is like, keep getting.
Yeah. We don't talk about her. She's,
Yeah.
Well, everybody on Twitter talks about her.
Yeah, we
don't talk about Bruno. Well, we don't talk about J.K.
Yeah.
Oh, the dog is really loving these hooves that you sent her. She's already on her second one.
So what? They're only lasting a day or two?
Yeah, they only lasted about 2 days.
Okay. She's got a really strong chew. Then usually those will last a while.
That means that you can. She likes those. You can preserve and save your toenail clippings and fingernail clippings, and feed them to the dog too. That's keratin.
Well, the thing is she's going at it constantly. It's not so much that she's going at it hard. But it was a 5-pack, so it should last me good.
Hi, NJ.
Hi, Nudge. How you doing, Nudge? NJ, I got to tell you this, that I've had other occasions recently to write bunny in the outside world, and I've spelled it this way. It hooked me in. It's the only way I know how to spell it anymore.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that's gotten me really annoyed, and this is because of the young Earth creationists, but with my Tourette's, I've listened to so many debates about evolution that Tiktaalik has become one of my tics.
You just do what I do. You got to do what I've done. I've kind of like zoned out on a lot of certain debate topics that been popular on YouTube for the last 2 years. Like I was zoned out on like creation versus evolution, and I was zoned out on fucking flat Earth completely. I was just like, just not doing it anymore. Just not doing it.
Well, I still do the shills whenever I can, so we're still making fun of everything.
Oh yeah, but I mean, but the shills isn't really debating it. The shills is pointing. The shills, I mean, look, they'll admit themselves. They're point and laugh, aren't they? Really, And
well, I don't actually watch any serious debates because debates are more about the presenter's charisma.
Yeah, I prefer
And
discussion
any facts of the
over-
matter
Well-
are pretty much irrelevant.
If it's
Oh,
flat
I mean-
Earth, there are no serious debates.
Yeah. I will say, all joking aside around flat Earth, and I know this guy's a flat earther, but honestly, R.I.P. Bob Nadell. Whatever else.
Yeah.
Sad to see the guy go, but but then look, again though, that guy's probably responsible for like the greatest meme around flat Earth, the 15 degree per hour drift. Thanks, Bob.
Well,
You heard that?
and he was always, he stuck to the topic. He did not get to insulting people.
Oh no. I'll give him a little bit of credit in that respect. That he wasn't like bloody Nathan Oakley or some of these other.
Yeah, he
Oh no,
seemed
he
like
was
a nice
absolutely
person.
courteous.
He
Yeah.
seemed like a nice person for being a flat earther.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
was
so
an old school adult like we are.
I
Yeah.
still like the subject of evolution. Kind of a hobby of mine, so I still tend to like listen to those so-called debates.
Yeah, again, I got a pretty decent public education in Chicago suburbs in the 70s. And it still astounds me that was better than what it seems a lot of kids are getting these days.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Well, even the Catholic Church was not having problems with evolution. The way I was taught it, I was taught evolution in the public schools. And when I went to the catechism classes, they were basically saying that, evolution was real. And it was the system that God used to create new animals.
Yeah. Well,
It would be a pretty piss poor system.
Well, the last time I checked, the Catholic Church actually accepted evolution. That they might accept a sort of theistic version of evolution, but they actually did sort of accept, the theory of evolution as being scientific in their official doctrine.
So, Mage, have you planted your tomatoes yet this year?
I've got some of them planted up, not all of them. I got violet jasper tomatoes planted, and I've got my Ildies planted, and I'm trying to transplant some of the cuttings I had from last season for my Everglade tomatoes.
You do tomato cuttings?
Yeah.
Oh, have you ever tried to grow one indoors? You wouldn't have to in Florida, would you?
No, I don't really have the room to grow indoors. Unfortunately, I need to clear space and do a whole setup.
I've known people who have grown tomatoes indoors, as long as you've got either a sunny window or you got a grow light on them.
I have thought about trying to set something up so I can grow broccoli indoors.
I've always wanted to try horseradish indoors.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of horseradish. My dad used to eat the stuff all the time, and I just could never take it.
It's real easy to grow. You dig a hole, you take a horseradish root, you throw it in there, curse at it, and bury it.
Is a horseradish and a radish the same thing?
No.
Okay.
I think they're in the same family. They're related.
Okay.
There's a little bit of similarity in their aromatics, I think. Good strong radish can definitely make you go, a little bit like horseradish can.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to remember that line for if I do a video on growing horseradish. They're all to curse at it and
Well, it's true. If you don't curse at it, it won't grow.
Okay.
Well, that
now
should be a
I've
plant I
Googled
can
it.
handle then, because I wind up cursing at everything.
I googled it, so now I know what it is. Horseradish. So yeah, that's very strong compared to radish.
There
Oh,
was just a dog toy commercial on Mage on TV. They're selling this chew toy. You've seen some of the chew toys that are like, I don't know, 8 inches long and shaped like a Hollywood type of bone. That a bone actually looks like. Except it looks like it's about 3 feet long. And just give the whole damn thing to the dog.
NJ says they grow tomatoes indoors.
Looking it up, looks like horseradish does not grow well in Florida, according to University of Florida here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I've still got tomato plant outside actually. So
I took my horseradish to seed one year. Well, one of the plants, not all of them. But I didn't collect the seeds and try and grow them. If anybody out there likes horseradish and you're getting the idea that maybe you should try and grow some, put it in a container before you put it in the ground. It spreads like crazy.
Yeah. I'll just say, when I say I think we got tomato plants outside, I'm not the one in the household who takes care of the garden. Until they legalise weed in the UK, I'm not going to take any interest in gardening. So.
Oh, Rishi won't ever let you have weed.
Yeah, well, yeah.
He don't even want you to have a dress.
we can't even have a sensible discussion about weed in Britain. So.
Sounds like horseradish should be grown in a large grow bag.
That would be interesting.
Provide a nice container for it and give it space for it to spread out.
Well, I was thinking it would do okay in one of those 5-gallon bucket things.
Yeah, 5 gallons is usually a good minimum for just about any plant.
Yeah, as long as it was the only one in there, I think it'd be okay. I don't think the roots care if they're jammed up or not. Maybe they do. I don't know.
Well, it's a root crop, isn't it?
Oh yeah. You eat the root.
Yeah, so you'd want space for the root to grow.
Yeah, but they grow the longer it's in there, the thicker the root gets. Not the longer, the thicker. So that's why I don't think it would be much of an issue as to how much space it really has.
You'd want a wide space then.
Well, but I don't have one, so I'm gonna make up flat Earth things until I convince myself it'll work.
I know.
Yeah, my brother's wife grows tomatoes in the 5-gallon buckets because it lets her start them earlier, start them indoors while it's still kind of cold outside. And then at the end of the season, she can bring them into the screen porch, and she'll still be able to keep them for another month or so.
We just got a nice little news break notice from Erin Reed. She's wonderful. The Missouri State Senate, a senator who just ragged on trans yesterday, just every lie in the book. Every fear tactic in the book, just anything that he could do that would be bad for us, he did. And they passed a nasty fucking law. Even though none of the people who were presenting testimony wanted it. Anyways, today he's pushing child marriage.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's fucking Republicans. They just don't get it.
Oh, whoa, but I thought, according to Republican logic, that like laws against trans people protected people from pedophilia. Yeah. Republican logic there. Yeah.
I would kind of think that marrying a young girl is kind of pretty much a type of pedophilia.
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly abuse.
My point exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So who doesn't like tomatoes?
Well, that depends. Is it store bought or is it grown your own?
Any.
Store bought, I don't like. I like the ones that grow.
I don't like tomatoes raw.
No, I don't like
them. If I can have one, if it's on like a burger, but I can't have them like if they're in a salad. I could never ever bite into one or just grab a slice and eat the slice. It's got to be cooked.
Also, store bought garbage.
Or part of something else.
My dad grows tomatoes. Like he have a few pots in like their outhouse, or not outhouse. They're like they have a few pots, and like those are really good to just pick off, and you can eat them like a snack. But like not store bought. Those aren't good for that. But yeah, when you have them on those plants, they're good to just eat like that.
Yeah, Slothbro likes to just snack on the grape tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like the gelatinous shit that's in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's icky.
It's usually not gelatinous when it's like my dad does it, I think. Usually not as much.
You tend to want to wash that stuff off if you want to save the seeds or plant them because they'll inhibit the growth until it breaks down.
I still have some little oranges, cuties or whatever they're called, clementines.
Mm-hmm.
Little mandarin oranges.
Yeah, little mandarin oranges. Okay, I still have some seeds from them.
Yeah, nice. I managed to get one to grow pretty well.
Oh, cool. Well, I hope I wish you luck with it. I hope that's fine.
Yeah, it's kind of struggling right now because I left it in a small pot too long, and now it's just kind of not really established very well. I have to dig it up and get it into a better pot and everything.
Yeah, give it a bigger space for the roots.
Yeah, at least I hope it's still alive. One of them, a couple of them died there, and I don't know which one's which because the labels rotted out.
Could you grow avocado in your area?
Yes. In fact, I've got several avocados growing.
Kino.
This is a bit of a low energy day today, huh?
Definitely for me. And I am going to have to keep this one short because I've got an appointment after this.
No problem.
No worries.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was looking into ideas for a rope toy for Molly, and I came across the idea of just buying a thing of jute rope and just making my own rope toys for her. And from what I was reading, it seems the jute would actually be safer for her to chew up than these cotton ropes I've been buying that are made as dog toys.
How's Molly settling in?
She's doing pretty good. She's sleeping in her crate in the living room right now.
That's good. I'm glad she considers the crate to be a safe place for her and not a punishment.
Yeah, I mean, making sure that she does not see that as a punishment, because I have to put her in there every night before I take the bird out. I always put a chew toy in there before I keep her food and water in there. So I put a chew toy in there. I give her a treat after I close the door, and then usually when I'm walking by after I'm done with the bird, I'll give her another treat before letting her out.
Does she have a reasonable sized kitchen in there?
I don't have a reasonable sized kitchen.
Yeah, but you're not a dog.
Well, no, actually it fits pretty well. When I first got the crate, I was a little worried it was going to be too small, but once I had it set up and she went in there, she was like, "Oh, she fits just fine." She like a whole. I could have gone like half that size, and would probably work for her still, without the food bowls.
It sounds like you're doing a good job with her if she's feeling that's like her sanctuary.
Yeah. In fact, she seems to be wanting to sleep in there over her dog bed.
Well, for whatever reason, she just finds that more comfortable.
Probably the enclosed area makes her feel safer.
That's why I was thinking that, just a security thing. The jute rope thing, I was pricing it out. It was basically for what I'm buying, like spending $2-3 a pop for the rope toys. I'd be spending to make my own would be like about 60 cents. Yeah, well, the jute rope is it's organic, so maybe they could actually digest it if they swallow pieces.
Yeah, and the pieces tend to break off smaller, so they would pass through easier.
Why don't you do a test and put some jute in water and see how soft it doesn't get? I honestly don't think jute would be a good choice.
I've looked it up. It would be fine for a dog to chew up, but it's just it's because of how when they just shred it breaks down into smaller pieces. It's a big thing.
You're talking about rope, and it's reminding me that I've got to redo Sammy's Cecil post again. He shreds that up really good, so I got a coil of the rope, and I just need to recover the whole thing because he's broken it all down into like 3-inch pieces.
I like to make tomato soup.
Yep. Guess the grilled cheese and tomato soup is classic.
Sweet potato and tomato goes together as a soup is pretty good.
You could have tomato soup with tomato sandwich and tomato juice.
Yep. Well,
by the way, sorry. Jenny, could I just say, whilst I've got you on here, thanks for the very kind words on my video earlier.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Jeff did a video on a charity organization that helps to supplement some of the services, Coast Guard type services in UK. And I'm a big lover of America's Coast Guard, and
I saw Jenny's comments. I didn't have a chance to watch the video yet.
Well, the reason, I'll get into it, but I was plugging a charity called the RNLI, which means Royal National Lifeboat Institution. So this is a charity that, she said, just pretty much provides lifeboats around the coast of the United Kingdom and Ireland, and does like at sea rescues. But they also, every like beach in the British Isles, like they train like lifeguards that are on those beaches, and pretty much 90 to 95% of their people are all volunteers. That they're not paid to do this. They're not part of like His Majesty's Coast Guard or whatever, which is like is like you know the official Coast Guard, which is government funded and so on. It does a little bit of like rescue at sea, but it's not. It's got a lot of other duties and so on. The RNLI does the vast majority of this, and it's a charity. It's totally no government funding whatsoever. And here's the reason I decided to make the video about this is we got this dickhead in the UK called Paul Golding, who is the leader of a political party called Britain First. Let's just put it this way. Paul Golding is a fascist, okay? There's no turf or two words about it. This guy is a fascist. He is a vile...
Yes, when I heard the party's name, I thought that does not sound good.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he called these people that volunteer, literally go out to sea, risk their lives as volunteers to try and save other human beings' lives. He called them traitors for going out there and like helping like asylum seekers that have been trying to cross the English Channel in a lot of the times in pretty much unseaworthy boats, and they're just trying to get to Britain, whatever, to try and get a better life. Well, they've almost drowned at sea. The RNLI have gone out and saved them, and they brought them onto British shores. Now, listen, once they bring them onto British shores, okay, that's like for like our immigration sort of services, whatever, to deal with. Okay, that's the end of the RNLI's responsibility. But no, that's not good enough for Mr. Golding. Like Mr. Golding's like he says they're traitors basically, and we should let these people drown in the fucking water. So yeah, fuck that fascist wank spanner.
Yeah, fucking monster.
Okay, and I'm putting a link to Scummer's video there in the in the description for people who want to check it out later.
Yeah, please do. And I'll just say this: I don't often, like I said, I don't often like plug charities or do like fundraising stuff on my own channel. But yeah, if people want to go check out my video, and if you can make a donation to the RNLI, I'd appreciate it. Look, no one's under any obligation, obviously. If you feel you can make a donation to them, great. But they are a really good charity, and you can really see the work they do. It doesn't take a lot of like massive research to really see the work they do. They are fantastic. They're coming up on their 200th anniversary as well, so that's how long they've been around.
Awesome.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about America's Coast Guard is they got the coolest paint job on the ships.
Yeah. Well, I think the RNLI, which is not part of the Coast Guard, they've got this lovely orange and blue colour scheme on their lifeboats that looks really good. Whereas our Coast Guard, our UK's Coast Guard is like red and white, but seems to be their colour scheme. But the lifeboats have got this quite wonderful colour scheme. Actually, it seems to blue and orange on the surface doesn't sound very good, but it kind of works the way that the boats look and so on.
Actually, when I saw the boat in your picture, the first thought in my mind was that's a color scheme they would have come up with for a Lego set.
Yeah. But you can see the practicalities of a lot of bright color like that, like the orange top on it. You can see the
they want to be visible from a long way off.
Yeah, you can see the practicalities of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I said, I'm a real Coast Guard fan. I'm by no means a military junkie, but the Coast Guard is beyond military. They're very heavy public service, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, having grown up on the shores of Lake Michigan, and been with the lake through all of its extremes, from freezing freezing solid all the way across to Michigan, to some of the worst nor'easter type storms you'd ever want to see. You know, these guys are going out there and saving lives and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of people don't realize that there are hundreds of shipwrecks in the Great Lakes.
Yeah. Well, obviously, like we have like HM Coast Guard as well, which is technically regarded as like an emergency, like the number you ring for emergency, like in America you dial 911 or whatever for an emergency. It's 999 in the UK, and there's four services you can like ring on the 999 number, which is the police, fire service, ambulance, and the Coast Guard. But the Coast Guard's is not like a massive thing in the UK. Like I said, they do obviously partake in like sea rescues, but they've got a lot of other duties, like stopping. They've got other duties as well. And I think, like for a charity, this is why I plug the RNLI so much, is that they put up a lot of the stuff that the Coast Guard in the UK can't do. But even things like providing lifeguards on British beaches, nobody does that other than the RNLI. There's no sort of like designated like lifeguard service that gets any state funding on British beaches or anything. We don't have like full-time beach lifeguards, and it's literally RNLI that provides that.
It definitely sounds like an organization worth supporting.
Yeah.
In the U.S., though, the Coast Guard, the search and rescue is actually more of a secondary mission to them, unfortunately. The primary thing they were created for was to stop smugglers.
Yeah.
Which has made them the front line of defense in the war against drugs.
Yeah, I suppose that's pretty much the main mission of our Coast Guard, to be honest, as well. So
a lot of people don't realize that the Coast Guard also will go to war, like in the Gulf Wars and stuff like that. The Coast Guard was there in the Red Sea, providing support. Wherever we go, they go too.
Oh, yes. In World War II, the Coast Guard was involved in some of the island landings against Japan.
No, they don't have any big guns or anything like that on any of their boats.
No, but they had the smaller boats that were good for getting people up on shallow beaches.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to eat here while we're doing this because I took my meds just as we started, and if I don't eat within half an hour of taking my meds, I wind up getting sick.
Yeah,
no worries.
I always make sure to have a meal before I take anything.
Yeah, I find I've got to take the pills first and then put food on top of them.
Yeah, depends what kind of pills I'm on at any time, because sometimes I'm prescribed pills where you got to have like you got to be like a couple of hours removed from any food in either way, and then other times you've got to take pills that are kind of
it depends on the pills, but
the
ones I take for the acid reflux, if I don't put something in my stomach on top of them, they cause a problem.
Oh yeah. Okay. I don't often I very, very rarely get anything like heartburn or acid reflux or indigestion. But when I do get it, I get it bad.
I had to give the dog her follow-up medicine for worms. It was a preventative thing. She doesn't have worms. But they had one dose from the
Yeah.
shelter, and then since I adopted her, they gave me the second dose to give it to her.
What's the precautionary thing to stop her getting worms, isn't it? So.
Yes.
It's good to give her the precautions, and if she's going to be outside at all, that even if she doesn't eat anything outside, she'll be licking the dirt off her paws, and you don't know what she could get in it.
Yeah.
Some of those dog preps for ticks and fleas are made with ivermectin, so you can ensure that your dog doesn't get COVID.
Yeah, ringworm is a huge problem with dogs, and that's in the soil just about everywhere.
I have to worry about heartworm here.
Well, you got to worry about heartworm everywhere. Just in the summer, it's an issue, and in the winter, it's not up here. Although
again, it's a matter of when it's active in the soil.
Well, it's particularly it's spread through mosquito bites.
Oh, right. Okay, that's right. Heartworms, the mosquitoes are carriers.
Yeah.
Mosquitoes are considered the most dangerous creature on earth with all the shit that they carry.
Yeah.
It's the one good thing about it getting cold up here is basically insects don't function below 50 degrees.
Yeah, in my zombie story I was writing, the initial outbreak came in from infected mosquitoes.
I'd like to know where flies go to hide in the winter.
They burrow into wood.
Yeah.
That's why you'll often find them, around your windows when it just warms up a little bit, because they live, under the wood molding. Then is where they put their eggs to shelter through the winter.
Most species of fly spend the winter buried in 1 to 6 inches beneath the soil, in their third or pupa stage of development.
Okay, soil rather than wood. Okay, I was off on that then.
Fly type creatures have to lay their eggs, their maggots, on a food source. They can't move around. They have to be right on whatever they're going to eat till they mature.
Developing fruits, yada yada. Occasionally in soil-based plants. So yeah, around food sources.
Yeah, well, different species prefer different food sources.
Yeah.
I was listening to
there's a plant. Go ahead, Jenny.
I was listening to this program that was talking about forensics and stuff, and they're talking about that spot in Georgia where they throw bodies out and watch them rot and stuff.
Body farms, yeah.
And how they've learned that certain insects come and will nest or whatever or multiply on a body at certain times after the original death, and that they can estimate time of death or day of death or month of death depending on which insect is alive on the body.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, well, forensics has used that for quite a while, of what the stage of fly development is to determine how old the body is.
Someone was telling me something about a service where you can donate your brain after you die. And they do research on all sorts of different things. And
that's actually what I was hoping for. I specifically want to find like a university that's doing research on autism to donate my brain.
Oh, here it is. There's a brain donation project. I just found it. I'll put the link.
So they take brain donations even when you're still alive. Then I mean,
Well,
where else did we get Republicans from?
Yeah. Yeah, but after I die, if they can slice up my brain and they find out something about autism that helps kids growing up, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I've had a couple strokes, so I might. So they could probably learn something from me, seeing as it's one of the things they research.
Okay, I'll have to check this link out after I get back from my appointment.
Yeah, apparently this is free to sign up if anyone wants to do it.
But if it's next to a Hormel plant, run away.
What? You don't want any being hot dogs?
No, they sell whole brains to eat.
Well, it's actually is the front end for a zombie project.
That would make sense, actually. Just like the blood banks for vampires.
Yeah.
Blood banks are for ethical vampires.
Yeah, when a vampire is on a diet, they don't eat whole blood. They eat just the platelets.
Ah.
It's true.
There's some lazy planning. While he's sitting there laying on her side and chewing on one of her toys, and while she's in the middle of chewing, she yawns.
I actually think one day I'm going to go upstairs to find Petunia has drowned for falling asleep in her water dish again. She hugs her water dish and lays her head up on the edge of it, and she falls asleep that way a lot.
And back to the hoof.
Hey, Vonrek.
I fall asleep in my water dish once in a while, too.
Yeah, sometimes drinking myself into a stupor is the closest I can get to sleep.
I've done that before.
It's not good sleep, but, sometimes you just take whatever you can get.
Yeah.
I had an interesting little interaction with my doctor this week. I've mentioned that I have this new doctor who was recommended by my former doctor who retired.
Is this the hot doctor?
Yeah, she's pretty hot. Yeah, she is. Anyways, one of the things I have issues with is my sleep, and a lot of it is primarily because of this just extreme pain I have in my leg, my left leg all the time. It'll wake me up in the middle of the night, and it's just horrible. Anyways, we tried lots of different medications and muscle relaxants and whatever we could think of, and nothing helped. And the only thing that would help to eliminate the pain so I could actually sleep was hydrocodone, 10 milligrams a shot. And I've been on those for now, a couple 3 years. And yeah, I love the anti-opiate. People get all upset if they hear that. Yeah, well, I'm not junking out on them, and I'm not hungry to go have more, and I'm not going to kill anybody. So don't worry about it, folks. Anyways, so I started with a new doctor, and I continue on the same drug routines. And I had my whole physical, Medicare. Once a year, you do a wellness physical, and I had that on Monday this week. Was that Monday? Yeah, I think it was. And every year you have to sign an agreement with your doctor if you're going to be on opioids. And as it turns out, I've never read the thing. Why would I want to read that? You have to go through a drug screen once a year.
Yep.
A random drug screen. And I had no idea. My last doctor did not do it at all. I never had a drug screen with her.
Yeah, the clinic I went to in Michigan had that for everyone. I wasn't on opioids or anything that was that controlled, but they did the random urine screenings.
I found out. I didn't know what the test was for. Okay, when I did the piss test, and they have a system now where you can get your lab results at the same time the doctor does. And so I get it and I look at it, and that's how I discovered it was a drug screen. And they check for meth and fentanyl, and pot and alcohol and everything. And of course I passed. They're expecting to see hydrocodone in there, and it was. But not knowing that it was a drug screen pissed me off. And it's like I've never been asked to do a drug screen before. I have a level of ethics that keep me from doing that sort of stuff. Turning into a junkie.
I can see not being told being a pain. Yeah.
And it really annoyed me. So I wrote this nasty letter.
Well, they probably felt that when you signed the agreement that was your warning that you were going to get these drug screenings.
Well, they actually didn't discuss that at all.
But it was probably printed in the document you signed, so they considered that your warning.
I don't know if it was. So we basically kissed and made up once I found out that it was mandatory. I said, okay, fine, I'll go through anytime you want. Even if it's a surprise one in the middle of the year or something, doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of rude for a doctor not to inform you of something that they're going to, a test that they're going to do on you.
Yeah.
And particularly the drug screen, because it can get you into so much trouble. What if I had been smoking a joint sometime in the last 30 days?
That would have been a problem for you, because what Sloth Girl was told was that if they detected THC in her system, it could disqualify her from getting opiates for the rest of her life.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
That it is.
Yeah, screw the fact of whether or not your doctor says you legitimately need them.
Yeah, I can't even get my head around that. It's just so ridiculous.
Yeah, there's too much bullshit regulations in the U.S. around prescription drugs.
Yeah.
It really should just be, if the doctor says you need it, you get it.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be any more complicated than that?
Yeah.
Because it's unethical doctors who do things badly that make it tough for the rest of them. Just like us in regular life, there's always somebody out there that's doing something stupid that we have to comply with a rule about.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's true. That some doctors just find they can make some decent money just by prescribing the drugs.
See, well, there's a problem in itself. If doctors should not be able to profit off of shit they prescribe. So
they shouldn't, but in some cases, drug companies will give doctors kickbacks for writing more prescriptions.
I think,
that's actually not allowed.
Yeah,
it's not allowed. It doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I'm not saying our system is perfect, but I'm pretty sure a doctor could get in a lot of trouble for shit like this. I mean, here's the thing: we talk about conflicts of interest with doctors. this is how this whole anti-vax shit got started. You know, because that guy is Andrew Wakefield, the guy who started the whole, vaccines cause autism.
Yeah.
That shit. Okay, this was about one particular vaccine that he was trying to make that study over, which was the MMR vaccine. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Well, it turned out the reason he got his license revoked in the UK, it turned out the prick had a financial interest in another company that was developing another rival vaccine.
Right. Yeah, he wanted to discredit the commonly used vaccine so people would start using the one that he was invested in.
The one that he was invested in, yeah. So this is the thing. He wasn't even really anti-vax. He was looking out for himself, but he reinvented himself as an anti-vaxxer after he got kind of like his license taken away and he didn't have nothing else to do.
Well, he was a bad boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was also a horrible thing as far as anything that would resemble a scientific study goes.
Oh, yeah.
His study group was on 13 kids. Far too small study group to conclude anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yeah, the reason he got his license revoked was they found out that he had doctored the data. That when the results did not show what he wanted them to do, he just altered the results.
And yeah, it's just the problem though is that it's like, I don't know, it's just like there's always people willing to listen to a conspiracy theory, unfortunately, and he was able to present himself as this victim of some sort of conspiracy theory, even though, look, no, this guy was corrupt as fuck and he got caught, and that really should have been the end of it, but yeah, he's it's disgusting that anyone still listens to him, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's been thoroughly discredited by anyone who's rational. Unfortunately, that leaves out a third of the population.
That leaves out about 90% of our population, I think, but
I still hold on to hope that in the US it's the majority of people who actually think that way. The problem is that most of the people just don't say anything, and half the people here don't bother to vote.
Yeah, so I go through. I got to be honest. This is very sincere. I go through periods when I have a lot. I have a lot of faith in humanity, and I honestly want to have a lot of faith in humanity. But again, I can also go through periods when I just think we are so fucked as a species that I can get to that point sometimes where I'm just like, we are so fucking dumb as a species that we actually need to die. I can see why people get into that mode of thinking, because it does. I do kind of get there myself at times. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone, but
yeah, it makes sense. Sitting here using the brush on the dog here, and she's insisting that I keep going, because every time I put the brush down, she wants me to pick it back up again.
Yeah, Sammy's like that anytime I've got the brush. Yeah, TV tube, that's a definite burn. And this is something that's being a huge problem in the US now, between the overturning Roe versus Wade and all the anti-trans bans, that there are doctors in a lot of states who aren't able to do their jobs. And surprise, surprise, doctors are leaving most of those states. there's a lot of states that they're actually having to shut down hospitals because they can't find enough doctors to staff them anymore. So it's like, all these things about protect the children. Yeah, the children no longer have an emergency ward in their county.
Hey, how protected.
It was never about protect the children.
Of course not.
Well,
No,
yeah,
of course not. If it was, we would have had gun control, but that's what they always yell.
This current effort at banning RU 486.
Well,
the abortion pill is, excuse me.
Sorry, go on, Jenny.
Is not about banning for RU 486. Okay, it is about setting a precedent by banning RU 486, so that they can then go back and do whatever they want with any other drug anytime they want.
Yep.
And birth control will be next.
Yep. Although this one, they're getting serious pushback because, of course, the pharmacy companies don't like this. And, of course, they are major political donors. So this is one that might not work out so well for the Republicans because they may wind up losing too many campaign contributions if they push on it.
Well, I can't imagine that Big Pharma would be too excited to hear that they can't sell birth control pills anymore. I'll bet there's a lot of profit in it.
Yeah, but the people running the pharmacy companies are aware of what you just said, that they want to set a precedent, and that could mean in the future that they could ban any drug they want. So that would definitely cut into their profits.
What would be even worse is if that they took it as Congress, and talking about, would take it as that gives them permission to approve or disapprove various drugs. And so we'd end up with a situation where you have 435 complete numpties in the House pretending that they're doctors and researchers and deciding which drugs are safe and aren't. And which of course would be decisions that their Big Pharma makes for them, regardless of the actual tests that have been done.
And if they find out that they can get away with banning drugs, the next thing they're going to go for too, besides birth control, is to ban all the drugs involved for puberty blockers or conversion therapies.
Well, they've already done that. They didn't have to get rid of the drug. They just had to get rid of the doctors and the permission to use it for an off-brand purpose.
Well,
it makes me so mad though that these fuckers are still standing there in their house and giving these speeches about this bill and complete lies about it. Well, you got to stop them mutilating the children.
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't happen, dude. Never has, never will. We're more ethical than you are.
Yeah, the problem they're having though is they're doing it state by state, and they can't get all the states.
Yep.
If they can ban the drugs at a federal level, then that's going to supersede any state that was okay with it.
Oh, they're planning on that too. Heritage Foundation is behind all of this. They had one of their Heritage Foundation conventions or conference or whatever they want to call it, and it was private and secret, and somebody filmed it.
And I saw a clip of the leaked video.
Yeah, and caught them actually, saying that we're going to do this and this and this to manipulate to get what we want.
Yeah, I caught a part where they were talking about, how they're going to take everything over by taking over the school boards and city councils first.
Mm-hmm. That would be Moms for Liberty. We're really in trouble. We're really in trouble. There's too many things that are in place to fuck us over permanently. And I'm afraid that it's going to happen.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the way the courts have gotten stacked up, that even things that seem to be clear violations of existing laws and of the Constitution, the courts are saying, nah, it's okay.
I always wondered when you hear about revolutions and stuff in a lot of the Central American countries and South American countries specifically, I've heard it about, is you hear news reports on NBC, ABC, whatever. How many? I want to be careful on how I say this so I don't get anybody in trouble. How many instances of revolutionaries eliminating judge issues? And I think we all know what I mean.
Yeah, I've thought about that for a long time. I was surprised that, some nutcase or some group had not taken that into their own hands by now.
Yeah. I don't approve of it, but now I understand why I never understood that. Why would they kill that judge or that prosecutor if that has nothing to do with the revolution? Well, apparently it does to them. And
yeah, I just say a lot of, all I can say is this, without getting into a long conversation, is a lot of politics in Latin America is fucked up.
Oh yeah,
and it's there there are a lot of issues, and it's a long ass history there. It's a real long ass history.
Most of the cases where it involved judges, it was usually, judges that were involved in the election process.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was the judges who decided who got to be the next president.
Yeah, or but yeah, you have an awful lot of, shall we say, regimes that were either unstable or were stable until, shall we say, outside forces decided to fuck with them. Hey, yes, the United States, I'm looking at you fucking with Chile in the 1970s. So, yeah, the original 9/11.
Yeah, well, we're certainly doing Venezuela a lot of good these days.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, I cannot make too many defenses of the Venezuelan government. I mean, I kind of did like Chavez when he was alive, on a number of levels, but yeah, these guys who've taken over from him, like his kind of successors, yeah, there are problems with them, but at the same time, I've not necessarily liked the attempts from outside forces to fuck with them.
Yeah. Well, the U.S. likes to prop up Venezuela because it's the only chance they have of undercutting the oil prices from the Saudis.
Yeah. Well, this is why they tried to oust. This is why they spent years trying to oust Chavez. So.
Well, yeah. Also, they don't like when they sell the oil to the Russians instead of to the U.S. and UK.
Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, like Chavez is one of the few Latin American leaders that kind of successfully stood up to the United States. This is like saying, "No, fuck you, leave, keep your noses out." So.
Well, after we crashed their economy for like the third time.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it was outright attempts made to overthrow him. I mean, I suppose the all-time champion for saying "fuck you" to the United States when they try to fuck with him is probably Castro, to be honest. But what was it? 600 attempts was made on his life over the years, and he still managed to die of old age.
Yeah, they just keep going after him because they want to get the cloning technology.
Yeah.
500 of those attempts were successful.
Yeah.
Oh, yuck.
Yeah.
So did anybody get any interesting fluffy bunny stuff last weekend?
I bought myself some candy.
I got some malted milk balls.
Yeah, you know what I was disappointed with this year? I didn't find the Cadbury caramel eggs anywhere, only the cream eggs.
I like
That
the
white
cream eggs
cream is
better.
disgusting. I like the caramel.
I
I
like the
just
cream.
say, it's a pity you guys. I don't know if you ever got to eat the old Cadbury's cream eggs. They were
I have.
really lovely.
Yeah, they were much better.
They changed them a number of years ago. They've just not been the same.
That's because Nestle took over.
Was
Yeah.
it Kraft? I thought it was Kraft that took Cadbury over, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, whoever took it over, they. But yeah, the Cadbury's caramel eggs are quite nice actually. But I will say the one that Cadbury's have done, the one good egg they've done since being bought out was that they did the Oreo egg. That's quite nice.
I was able to find the caramel ones here.
Mm.
In 1978, Cadbury was bought out by Peter Paul.
Yeah. Okay.
And in 1988, Hershey's bought out Peter Paul.
Yeah.
Who the hell is Peter Paul?
Mary's friend.
But Cadbury's never had like Hershey chocolate in them ever.
I'm liking.
Because let's be honest, Cadbury chocolate was fucking better than Hershey's or Mars by a mile.
Yeah.
I'm liking these. It's just a different formula. It's not bad chocolate. It's just a different formula that you don't like. You know, it's not bad.
Well, the
I
original
think Cadbury eggs are
better.
just fine.
Well, yeah,
Cadbury's
Americans
fine.
tend to eat a lot more sugar, or have a much sweeter palate.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say out of American chocolate, I prefer Hershey over Mars, but the majority of the stuff we get here is probably Mars products.
I like almost all chocolate except for those hollow bunnies at Easter time. That stuff is like pure wax.
Yeah.
I was liking those flavored Peeps they released this year. The sour watermelon. I had the wild berry ones. They had the Dr. Pepper one I didn't try.
I still wouldn't eat a Peeps. I don't care what flavor they think they're making them. They're just disgusting. God. The only reason I'd buy Peeps is to abuse them in a campfire.
Apparently, Mars is still a family-owned company.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah,
last says.
Yeah, last I checked, the Mars family still was majority shareholder.
Yep. And they are ranked as the 4th largest privately held company in the U.S.
Mm. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, chocolate without anything in it, not right.
Mm.
Especially when they sell kids those giant chocolate bunnies that are just that thin shell and nothing in them.
Mm.
All right, who's tweeting?
I think that's Major Bird.
Actually, that might be me. That might be me. I'm outside and it's raining, so.
No.
It's okay. You can tweet if you want.
Yeah, I was aware of it. It wasn't bothering me. Goodbye. Oh. So everybody's run off everything to say? like I said, I do need to get going early anyway, so maybe I should just shut the stream down here.
Don't really have much to say.
Yep. Okay, anybody got anything they want to plug before we go? Mage, I saw your garden tour video out a couple of days ago.
Yep, I released that yesterday. So you can go check that out. Trying to get back on in form there with the gardens and videos. Kind of have some partial stuff worked out. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do next week though.
I've started another new book I'll never finish.
Yay!
Well, Mage, you have to make a decision by tomorrow night because Friday is National Garden Day.
Yeah. Maybe I should make a video on that.
Yeah, Jenny, I saw the piece that you had started. I haven't had time to read it yet.
Why are you giving me your hoof?
Because she wants to share. She loves you.
Well, see if you can spare 5 minutes and read that.
Yeah, probably late tonight after everyone else is in bed. Okay, well.
I've got one little thing to plug, but not so much on my channel. It's going to mainly be on Vonrek's channel for media musings for the rest of April. We are going to be quote unquote celebrating Confederate History Month, where we talk about the war and northern aggression. No, actually, we're going to spend this Confederate History Month bollocks. We're going to be debunking this lost cause bullshit that's come up again. So look out for that. It's going to be. I think we're going to have a bit of fun with that.
Oh, I saw a plate on somebody's truck. Look, there's a Confederate flag with the frame reading "Not hate, heritage."
Yeah.
Bullshit. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's a common thing for them.
Yeah. Look, I don't know. Look. That's one bit of American history I'm fairly familiar with. It's like the Civil War period and so on. Yeah. I love fucking with lost causes. So it's a personal hobby of mine.
Yeah, I was just thinking, heritage of what?
Most people don't know how to defend the opinion of the Confederate flag being nothing but hate and racism. Do you know the whole story to that, Jeff? About the true battle flag and the KKK and
oh Christ, yes,
national flag.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, yes, I mean that flag, the flag everyone calls the Confederate flag was never the Confederate flag.
Right.
Yeah.
That was something that got sort of incorporated a lot. Yes, it was a battle flag. Now, yep. I will say, if you look at the last two official flags of the Confederacy, that the cross with the stars was incorporated into the last two things, like the stainless banner and the stained banner, which were the later official flags of the Confederacy. But that was never the official Confederate flag, and a lot of that came out with this. I mean, really, the Klan had a lot to do with it. To be honest,
you have to explain the appearance of the flags. The Confederate nation, if you will, had a stars and bars.
The stars and bars.
And it had basically red, white, and blue on it, and a couple of stars here and there. That was their national flag.
Well, the stars and bars.
There was
the stars.
There was the X-type flag with as we think of the Confederate flag, except it was perfectly square.
The St. Andrew's cross with the stars in it. Yeah. It is but the stars and bars. If anything, if you look at it, it looks sort of somewhat similar to the stars and the stripes. If those who haven't seen it, but I will say that the stars and bars was the first official flag of the Confederacy. They changed their flag halfway through the war. Like actually, they changed it twice. They had something called the stainless banner, which was a white flag with the Confederate cross thing in the corner, and then they changed that again about like 6 months later. It's called something called the stained banner, which was a white flag with like it was like a red bar going down at the end, and the Confederate cross in the corner, which was kind of like the final flag of the Confederacy. But that.
What matters here is just a discussion of the X-type flag. That the X flag that was used on the battlefield was perfectly square. It was, like you said, it was St. Andrew's flag with stars in it.
Yeah.
The rectangular stars and bars was used by one military brigade, Virginia 1st, I think, in one battle.
Yeah.
And the next use of that was the KKK in the 20s.
Yeah, well, yeah. It gathered that flag gathered far more steam in after the war. Like, and I will say, yes, the Klan had an awful lot to do with popularizing that. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I've got to be honest. Like the first time I ever saw that flag was when I was a kid. Like we had like. Is it the Dukes of Hazzard on TV?
Yeah, Dukes of Hazzard. That's what I thought.
Yeah, it all seemed very innocent to me. I didn't understand the history. It was just like, hey, yeah, I kind of liked it. It was not, to me, it was a nice flag on the top of this car, and hey, the Dukes fuck the boss hog every week. It was a lot of fun. When you get a bit older, I realised kind of the history behind all that shit. It's.
I can't doubt even the people who made the show knew the history.
No, I'm sure they didn't.
I'm sure they didn't know much of it, yeah.
I'm sure they didn't, in all fairness to them.
Well, it is, what it comes down to is that it is accurate for us to point at that Confederate flag and say that all it stands for is hate and racism.
Yeah.
That it has nothing to do with heritage.
That's for sure.
So don't let those fuckers get away with flying it. And the lunacy of them calling the Confederate flag their national, honor, heritage, all the crap, and then posting it on a flagpole right next to an American flag on a pole. You can't do both.
Even if you accepted the whole heritage thing, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure. It's been a while since I checked, but like national cemeteries in the United States, like government owned, it's kind of like in national cemeteries, it's pretty much they will not allow Confederate flags to be flown there. Now really? I did go, because it's like, well, why would you? It's a living flag. It's the treason rag, isn't it? But I know in certain things that, shall we say, are not government owned or federally government owned. Like last time I went to America, we got taken to the Kentucky cemetery where Daniel Boone was buried or whatever. But there was a blooming Confederate flag flying there over like war graves of Confederates, which are the fucking daughters of the Confederacy had paid for this like monument to go up or something. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's up until the last couple of years, there were still states that were flying the Confederate flag at their capitals.
Yeah, well, South Carolina, I believe, still does.
See, this is the one that makes me laugh is when because there were a couple of states, wasn't there? It was Mississippi and Georgia that had the St. Andrew's cross with the stars in it, and Georgia, when they actually changed their flag to like say, oh yes, we accept there's a problem with this, and they changed their fucking state flag to the stars and bars, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah, go and look at the state flag of Georgia. It's the fucking stars and bars. It was like, come on.
Yeah, some of them think they're getting away with it by having a white flag base and the Confederacy flag in the corner.
Well, yeah, actually, well, like I said, that white base with the Confederate flag in the corner was the second official flag of the
right
Confederacy. It was they called it.
I heard
It's
you
called
say that.
it's called the Stainless Banner. It's also called the Stonewall Jackson flag because like the first time it was ever used was at Jackson's funeral. Like, so it's sometimes called the Stonewall Jackson flag.
Well, and it really helped when they could take their battle flag and rip it in half to make a surrender flag.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think the pure white flag's the best Confederate flag, but I'm going to say this. I do. It's just one of those things. Now, listen, I'm under no illusions that William Tecumseh Sherman was a nice guy in any way, shape, or form. But I do like some of those Sherman memes that go around.
Well,
I love some of them are brilliant.
We really only won the Civil War because Abraham Lincoln trained the pterodactyls to only attack people in gray uniforms.
I thought it was because he hunted vampires.
That was in the later part of the war.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, well, we had been signing off here. So I would just like to thank all the people who have been donating to my channel. Vonrek, it was good to see you today. Don't see too much of you around. Southern Sal, Skits Crasher was with us earlier. Don't know if he's still hanging there. And Kitty. And Robert X, Greg Hartwick. I appreciate all of you helping me keep things going here. Oh, and the Lavender Lady. Sorry, I missed one on the list. So, appreciate all of you, helping pay for the internet and such for me. So with that, I will bid you all a goodbye.
Salute. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.